This week, the United States Peace Corps marked an important milestone, the 50th anniversary of its existence.
I have today signed an executive order providing for the establishment of a Peace Corps on a temporary pilot basis.
In 1961, the then President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, signed an executive order establishing the Peace Corps, forever changing the way America sees the world and the world sees America.
We're going to put particular emphasis on those men and women who have skills in teaching, agriculture, and in health.
Today, one of President Kennedy's most enduring legacies can be found in the over 200,000 current and returned Peace Corps volunteers who have collectively given over half a century of service to the cause of peace.
I just recently returned from both Sierra Leone and Liberia, and in both cases I met with the vice presidents of those countries who spoke very poignantly about their own Peace Corps teachers and how those people have been long-time friends of theirs, and how Peace Corps volunteers really actively not only help them get into, pass their national exams, but get into university and then pursue graduate work, and then ultimately return to their own countries after their lengthy civil war. These were lifelong friendships that were developed by Peace Corps volunteers.
Here leaving for Africa, a Peace Corps contingent is given a personal farewell by the President.
Most significantly is the presence of Peace Corps in Africa and the enormous contribution that they have made towards various development projects across the continent.
America is truly represented through the Peace Corps. I was a young African-American male in the United States, decided to join the Peace Corps. I was ecstatic when I got selected to go to South Africa. It was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. I did 3 months of training in a small location outside of Pretoria. I ended up getting posted in the north, in the former Transvaal, now called Limpopo province. And it was during those 3 months of learning Northern Sotho, the language I was going to speak, of learning the culture, of learning the skills that I would be using to work with schools in South Africa, with communities in South Africa. By the time my training was over, I was probably the happiest kid in town. I said, hey, I'm going to my community, I'm going to live there, I'm going to work there for 2 years. This is what my life has prepared me for this.
On its 50th anniversary, the United States Peace Corps remains an enduring symbol of the nation's commitment to encouraging progress, creating opportunity, and fostering mutual respect and understanding throughout the world.
Growing up, I had a teacher who was a volunteer in the Philippines. I've never been in the Philippines. I don't know anything about the Philippines, but I knew that several days a month she would come in and wear the clothes and cook the food. That's happening every day. And if she's a teacher for 40 years after serving, how many students are there like me who shared in her experience? But there's that every day, but there's also business leaders, media leaders, politicians here in town. We have 4 members of Congress who served as returned Peace Corps volunteers. The former governor of Wisconsin was a returned Peace Corps volunteer.
Over the past 5 decades, Peace Corps volunteers have served in nearly 140 countries, bringing a wealth of practical assistance to those working to build better lives for themselves and their communities. From the first group of volunteers to arrive in Ghana and Tanzania in August 1961, they have been emissaries of hope and goodwill to the far corners of the world, strengthening the ties of friendship between the people of the United States and those of other countries.
Perhaps part of our being there was really about fostering a belief in themselves, of teaching our girls that they had a better future, that they could own their own future, that they could dream of going to university, that they could dream of owning their own business, that they could dream of choosing their own partners in life, their marriage, identifying the number of children that they wanted to have, and really being able to find their own future.
Volunteers help address changing and complex global needs in education, health and HIV/AIDS, business and information technology, agriculture, environmental protection, and youth development.
I hope you realize, and I know you do, that the future of the Peace Corps really rests with you. If you do well, then the Peace Corps will be developed, and more Americans will go abroad, and we'll find a greater and greater response to this idea of serving our country.
With each village that now has access to clean water, each young woman who has received an education, and each family empowered to prevent disease because of the service of the Peace Corps volunteers, President Kennedy's noble vision lives on. Aaron Ochen, Mark TV News.